Paul, first your reaction to the FA Cup draw. You'll host West Ham in round 4. What do you make of it?
Yeah, good. I was really pleased, to be honest. Excuse me. I was pleased because it happened so quick after our game, so we were still in a little bit of post-match euphoria. Watched it with the majority of the staff in the office at the club. So yeah, pleased. Really, I'm really pleased it's a home game, and it's always nice to play Premiership opposition. So it should be a good day, stroke night. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be some random day, like a Thursday morning, but I look forward to knowing when we're playing it.
Yeah, we've got that in a few weeks' time. I'm sure you've been back over the tape from the weekend. What stood out in the win over Barnsley for you?
I mean, this is a very coachy thing to say, just the work rate really, I think. And I thought nothing epitomised that more than Knighty's goal. If you watch Knighty's goal back and you see where he starts the press, he's got 2 players in front of him, he goes to get the press. Nat follows him, win the ball back, and they get the goal between them that they deserve. So probably about that really. All the things, you know, obviously the goals and the attempts and the crosses were all really good. So that pleased me. But also the fact that, you know, the run the lads are on is great. But every single game, we've had moments in the game where the game can swing in a different direction. It doesn't matter who you play. You can be 2-0 up and you could just make a save that, ooh, all of a sudden 2-1's nervy, or it can be 0-0. And this week, obviously, the chance came and Joe pulled off an amazing save, considering he's got someone in his eye line as well. And that's sort of what pleased me, really, that at the moment, on them important moments, integral moments of a football match, the lads are coming out on top. So in that respect, that and yeah, the out-of-possession work was excellent.
We've just been talking to your goalkeeper, who's enjoying this terrific run of...
I thought you could say goalkeeping coach. I'm thinking, oh, no. Okay, yeah, that's good.
No, you've not let us talk to him yet. We'll
no,
get to him.
I'll drag him in.
We've been talking to Joe.
Yep.
Just a few words on him and the job he's done for you in what for him is a first season as a #1 goalkeeper.
Yeah, well, I think he'll help the club sell a lot more calendars. He looks a lot younger, doesn't he? How much younger does he look? Every time I see him, his haircut, his stubble, he looks like he's like 19. He looks like a trialist today. I think, you know, fundamentally, like your success in the most basic terms of a football team is your goalkeeper and your top of the pitch. And everybody else there helps both ends, really, and that is the most simplistic. If you get any of that wrong, if you have a striker that can't score, if you've got a goalkeeper who can't catch a cold, you're in trouble. And Joe has been really good, like really impressive, but not only making saves, like every keeper makes saves. So, you know, when you say, oh yeah, but you know, if I get an agent phone me up, oh, the keeper's really good, he makes saves. I think, well, if he doesn't make saves, how is he a goalkeeper? It doesn't make any sense. But what I think Joe's done is that in the difference between, and I text Joe this, difference between a good goalkeeper and a great goalkeeper is in them moments where you need your keeper to get you out of the stunk, really. He's made saves and he's kept us in games on crucial moments many times. I thank him for. I think his distribution's really good, and the more confident he's got, the more with the back four, in fairness, the more confident the team are. And I like the fact, and I'm always encouraging him when crosses comes in or free kicks come in, if there's any chance you can come and like take it, please come and get it. And if you drop it and they score from it, look, that's on me. I've asked you to do it. But generally, I think he's been braver. He's in a really good place, really confident, and he just, you know, a massive addition to the defensive line.
He talks about how confident you and the staff have made him feel in particular.
Oh, good.
Do you have much to do with him, if you know what I mean, or do you leave that to Andy and the goalkeeping side of things?
No, I leave it to Andy. I mean, they're weirdos, aren't they, goalkeepers? They're like a different breed. You know, I always joke with them and call them like the last pick at school or glee club or something like that. But they are their own unique little group. I don't speak to them a great deal. I do sometimes, well, probably twice a week, walk over to the goalkeeping session just so they, like, you know, it sounds a bit egotistical, just so they feel my presence. That doesn't sound right at all, but sounds a bit Darth Vader. But I do leave everything to Andy. But I do speak to Andy. I speak to him on the way home, on the way in. We do speak about, like, you know, he might say something's happened, or I might say, like, I need him to be a bit more, you know, I need you to have a little look at this. But generally speaking, I trust Andy with my life. He's really good. But the only time I sort of speak to Joe is I might speak to him before the game or after the game, but then I might bombard him with comedy texts for the majority of the weekend. So I more give him, like, I more have chats with him, weirdly, away from the training ground.
You're on a tremendous run, 16 unbeaten, 11 without defeat in the league. Is there any pressure coming with that?
No, not for me. No, no, not really. I just think that I wouldn't say I'm not sitting here thinking, wow, we are absolutely smoking hot. We're not. We look like we're semi-attractive. We've got half our outfit on, but we're not like got our full makeup on yet. I think that we're always taking little steps, and we're definitely better than we were 16 games ago. The things that please me is that we're a lot more athletic than we were 16 games ago. So we presented to the lads this week how the physical data against Ipswich, which I think, you can tell me I'm wrong, was our last defeat, to our physical data the other day are like chalk and cheese. So that's what really impresses me, and I just think that we keep reinforcing the messages, then hopefully we'll win a lot more games. But I don't feel the pressure at all. And if and I know fans don't want me to say this, but if we're unsuccessful against Cheltenham, who, by the way, have only lost 3 games less than, only won 3 games less than us, so I'm not underestimating Cheltenham at all, but if we were to lose at Cheltenham, like I've said in many press, like boo-hoo, like you just have to get on another run, and that's all you can do. So I don't feel pressure. I don't want the lads to feel pressure. I just think if they play at their very best, they're very difficult to stop.
And that's the thing about the league, the cliche. You go to Cheltenham, who are the other end of the table, but they'll be a difficult side for you to face. Yeah,
and if you look at I showed the lads yet today, and I'll do a bit more on it tomorrow, if you actually look in the black and white of it, if you go through all their results this year, like they haven't took any crackings. They virtually every game, if they are on the losing side, they're only on the losing side by 1 goal. The teams that have gone there and beat them have struggled to beat them. That is true, all the top teams. I think Plymouth won 1-0. So it's not an easy place to go. Obviously, I've took a team there before, so I know how difficult it is, and I also know that, respectfully, with our following and that, they'll probably feel like the underdogs. And I know what it's like being an underdog. You come out fighting and scratching, doing everything you can for your team. So we have to, in every game we play, our levels have to be so high for us to win.
Just finally, nearly halfway through January, and I haven't asked you once about the transfer window yet. So if you'll indulge me...
Is it open?
It is.
Wowza.
Any progress?
No one's told me. Not really, no. My honest answer is no, it's not that exciting. Like I said loads of times, and I wish I had a bit more Harry Redknapp about me in January to whip the excitement up, but at the moment, no. There's 2 players that I've been chasing. One I think is confirmed after much courting that he's decided to come to us, which is great, but until it's actually happened, there was one player I was after, and then Kel Surprise, something happens, plays in the FA Cup for their team at the weekend, does really well, and now the manager sees him in a different light, so I understand that, and things change all the time. So I'd like to, at the weekend, I thought we'd have one in the door in the first couple of days of this week. Hasn't happened. I'd like to think that this player won't come in tomorrow. That sounds a bit harsh to him, but I mean, I'd like to think he'd come in early part of next week. No one's going to come in on a Friday. But they have to be like very, very competitive to this team. And as you can well imagine, the conversations I have with players at the moment is, well, am I going to come and play? Well, no. You've got to come and compete, and if you don't want to come and compete, then you're not the sort of player that Derby County want. If you're one of the ones who turns up and thinks they can walk in and people throw petals at their feet, you're not for me. So we have to get the right characters, have to get the right players, and as the window goes on, something might happen that makes it more exciting for what I want to get in. And if we end the window and everything's exactly the same, then great. But you always got to prepare for the worst case scenario, and that's what's difficult with it. But at the moment, there isn't too much happening. I'm glad that I haven't had loads of people phone up about my players either, our players. So yeah, at the moment we're in a good place, but if we do need to do anything, we're sort of ready to hit the button.